Come say hi to everybody. Come say hi to everybody. Say hi, everyone.
I got a sore belly.
He's got a sore belly. He's been yakking all day. Huh.
Look at my new haircut. See, I look pretty.
But he got himself a haircut the other day.
He's a handsome boy.
Are you done? He's like, I don't like to be up here. This is
know.
not my place.
He doesn't like it up here.
All right. Hello. Welcome. I'm Tiffany. Today's So Sunday. May the 4th be with you. So we are going to be starting the double wedding ring. Yay! Yep, that's what we're doing today. So we're going to get started on that. But first, let's see who's here. Oh, let's see. Karen, Gloria, Joanne, Polly, Aldia, Rachel, Jan, Tracy, Robin, Lorraine, Grace, Cynthia, Irish Sail Lady, Linda, and Sharon, and Deanna, and Beverly, and so many more. Now I'm going to pre-warn you in advance. There's a storm passing above us, and everywhere else it's hailed around us. So hopefully it doesn't hail here, but if it does mess with our internet. And I don't have backup for that. So
Hail here.
I doubt it will, but if it does, or if the thunder gets even worse than it already is and lightning, then we have issues. But usually it doesn't affect the internet unless the wind picks up to, 75 miles an hour, which is monsoon stuff. But right now it's just a regular storm.
And we're getting rain for the first time this year.
Yep, but we're getting rain for the first time this year. So it's a miracle. Yay! So we're going to do the double wedding ring. I chose to do the scrap double wedding ring because I am using scraps. I am working from a book. It's an Omnigrid double wedding ring book that had all of my parts and pieces. You may not have this same book as me, but this is just the general idea and sew along with me. So make sure you read your book and use your templates the way the book says to use them, so that way you can have just as pretty of a double wedding ring as me, even though it's going to frustrate us because it's curved. Everything's curved. All right, so you guys have been waiting for this to see what fabrics I'm using, so I'm going to go ahead and put it all out on the table, and then that way you guys can see what I'm using. And I'll use the book for examples, even though the page will be upside down. So let's take a look down like this. All right. Thank you. Thank you for liking my t-shirt. So for all these arcs, all the arcs, we are going to have all this lovely fabric here. Let's put those aside. So we have all browns, reds, blues. I'm just going to kind of pull some out and just throw it. Rusts, greens, pretty beiges, more browns. Can you see why I said I'm doing outside of my normal realm here? And I am working with scrap pieces of stuff that is like Civil War prints and Kansas Troubles prints and you name it. This is all prints that I'm doing. So you can see as I pull them out of the box. I'm just using vintage style prints. I mean, look at that. It's so pretty. It's going to be great. You can see I pressed all my scraps because this is all scraps since I am doing Scrappy. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? But this is not my regular realm of color palette for sure, because you guys know I'm not really into browns, but I mean, look. This is from the Kansas Trouble line. That's Moda Fabrics right there. Yeah, Scotty likes the Kansas Troubles. A lot of this is Moda because, like I said, it's all Civil War reproduction style stuff. But I mean, isn't it all just super delicious looking? So I'm literally going to be working from all of this lovely scraps. I mean, this one was a Christmas print, but I'm mixing it in anyway because it goes with the palette of color that I'm using. There's another one that's from Primitive fabrics. Look at that. That one's pretty. So this is my palette here. Totally not me, but it looks nice and it will be nice. And then for the, we're going to hold the book up here. These points right here, the 4-patch that comes together. I am using these 2 colors because, again, vintage. These came from my vintage fabric selection in my room. Even though I don't think this one is. It's Marcus Fabrics. It's an old one, though. It's probably 1990s, but hey, that's old enough for me. And then for the background inside those footballs and the centers, we're going with Ecru is the color. So it's creamish white color. And it blends perfectly. So that's what we're doing. So I grabbed a yard of these. There's a yard. So that should be enough for all of my lovely pieces here. And then all these scraps, I made a chart and we're going to go through that right now. Just so you guys know how I was preparing for today's project. Let me come back around. So I used this picture because the book itself tells you yardage in the back, you know, but it don't make sense to me or my brain. So I took it like this and I counted how many of the curve things it makes, how many units. I did the counting on that. So I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I had 82 total scrap fabrics. Some of them I probably won't be able to use because they're not going to be big enough for the arcs, which is the pre-cut part of the arc, but they will be enough size if I'm just individually cutting out the arc pieces. I need 762 arc pieces total. So that's 508 A pieces and 254 B pieces. And then I need 72 to make 72 of the D patches, which is this curved one, which makes the points from this. So I made sure that I had enough fabric for that. So I needed a bunch of those. And then I needed 56 E pieces, which is the center curve thing. And then for my C pieces, which is the little football part, I needed 127 cuts for this. And this is going to yield me an 82 by 95, 82, where am I at? 79 by 90 quilt. So I'm pretty much making an almost queen size because I'm going to figure out how to square mine off. I don't want scalloped borders, although it would be nice because of the color palette that I'm using. But I'm just saying, if you need to, just count your chart on your, count the picture on the paper of how many arcs are needed and whatever. That way you can just do the math. And I think it makes it a little bit easier to figure out what's needed for today's project. Well, this next coming month's worth, because this is going to drag on for a little while. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you guys what my pile is going to look like. I had to, because I have to do this, I needed to make sure I could show you guys how to make it. So there is my little sample. It's kind of wonky, but again, I'm not perfect at this because I've never done this before. So this is my wonky little partial sample that we will put behind my head on the wall so that you can have a general idea of what it looks like. And I've already made some arc pieces, and then the arc pieces that have the D on the end of them. So I made what would be the C unit in total, and then the unit with the D on the end that go to the footballs. So I've already got that, and I've already got some extra ones cut out, but I need to cut out more. But today, we're going to start with the cutting. My book itself has a with the ruler set has a big one like this, to where you can cut and get your A and B pieces from this large cut. Or you can do one solid color, which is one solid piece right here, and then add your 4 patches. So it comes with that as well, to do one solid. But I'm doing the big one. So I'm going to start with the G and start cutting some fabrics up so that I can show you guys how I'm doing this. And I'm going to set all this aside right here, and then we're going to put most of these fabrics aside into this bin and start prepping to cut. Even though I pressed it all, I just made a big, huge mess. All right. He's already what? Oh, that's awesome. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I need 12.5 inches of a cut for mine. I don't know what you guys need for yours. So what I'm doing is, can you turn the iron on for me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I know.
All right. I know you guys probably want to see this. I guess Scott could put the camera back down. Oh, no, you can see pretty
Yeah,
good
wanna
on
see
the
book
screen.
again?
This is my book that I'm working from.
I was gonna show
You can't find this online. This book is from 2004.
Yeah, they'd have to find that on eBay, maybe.
Yeah, if you want to find it, you're going to have to find it on eBay or Etsy or something. But that's what my book is. It's the Omnigrid Double Wedding Ring. Everybody's are going to be different. Like I said, I should have dug out my other one for double wedding rings for this, but I didn't. I didn't think about it prior to. So I'm going to stack a few fabrics like this. And like I said, I pressed everything, but unfortunately, now it's got creases in it all. Talking.
Making noise.
I'm literally just laying them on top of each other till I have a nice, good sized stack here.
It's pouring. Finally, we needed that.
Yes, we definitely needed the rain. I don't know how many I have stacked up here, so. But we're going to make an A pile and a B pile anyway. So I need to cut at least, what did I say here? I need to cut at least 6 arcs from each fabric to have enough, according to my little chart here. Now my fabric's upside down, wrong side up, as you can tell. I'm going to line my arc up down here where it covers, because I do not like wasting fabric. So I am going to get the best of all the fabrics here. I should turn this around because I got grippies on one side. And I'm going to go ahead and make a cut straight right here off the fabric, and then fold it out of the way, line up my blade, and carefully, it's best if you have a 45mm blade, I'm going to carefully cut across that arc, slide my fabrics out of the way, and then cut the rest of the arc. And I'm just doing it very carefully, just like this. And then, oops, without moving my stack, even though I'm going to move it, you're supposed to keep it stacked up. And this piece did not grab the corner, but I can get A's out of it. But I'm going to press this real quick to get those folds out. Oh, there's the thunder.
Ooh, it's a thundering.
It's a thundering.
Look at them. These It's like, I don't know what thunder is.
Sorry, I'm tying my hair up, guys, because being at the iron makes me sweat more. All right, and then my book tells me, once I cut this out, I'm going to keep it all nice and stacked. It's nice and pretty stacked. Nothing got shoved or moved. I'm going to grab my B piece, and I'm going to lay it on here the way that it goes, like some which way. I will find it eventually. It goes this direction, right? Not that way. Right there. Nope. Right here. Nope. Oh my goodness. I'm going to restack all this because now it's made itself a mess. Make sure you're following your book. I'm just the guide of putting it together. Restack all these really nicely. And those didn't get out of order or messed up. Okay, B. Which way do you go, B piece? Please work with me here. There it is. I found its orientation. Now it says to lay the B on here. Give it a cut. Slide it out of the way. Then take my A piece and cut the next few pieces with the A. My book tells me to stack them all up and do this. And then line it back up on the next one. Make that cut. And the next one. And one more. And then that B piece should be exactly the same when I line this end up, and it is. So it matches up all the way around. So now I'm just going to take all the A's and put them in a pile, and all the B's and put them in a pile, and do it all over again. So I need a few pieces from each of these. And then obviously I'm going to cut A's off of this one. The B got messed up, so we're going to go the opposite direction. Wow, it's pouring.
Yeah.
Like super pouring out there. All right, that's a B. We should have B facing one direction one way and B facing the other direction the other way. A. But all the A's can get stacked up. A. A. The only reason why I have to scrap this B because it didn't cross the end of the fabric properly. It was cut off there at the end. Okay. So now I'm going to cut out another arc. Right here. Very carefully like. Just going to come up to the end, pass it, carefully go around the curve, slide this out of the way, cut that end carefully, that end carefully, and the curve. All right, so I'm gonna just very carefully take it over for a press.
Would it not be easier to cut the small pieces if you flip the arc?
Oh, it'd probably be easier, yeah, it doesn't matter which way, honestly. Oh, look at it, I figured it out on the first try right there. All right, so I'm gonna cut B, put that in the one direction. I'm gonna cut all my A's. And most of this can be cut with 2.5 or 2 1/4 inch squares. So if you're just doing it by the square, then that should be exactly this size. Yep. All right. That's that direction. And those are all the A's. So now I'm just going to move this stack of fabric out of the way. I'm just going to line it up on the back of the chair. I'm going to cut a 12.5-inch strip off of this because this is a full selvage length.
Where else can you find these pattern books and templates?
You just type in double wedding ring in Google and you can get tons of patterns. There's probably free patterns out there even. All right, there's one. You know what? I'm just going to do what I always... Yeah, I think so. I'm going to just cut out one at a time. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut.
QBPN would, wouldn't they?
Yes. Yep, check my affiliate sites there. Scott put a link for QBPN. They might have one. So this requires a rotating mat or going around a table. So I'm just going to cut out these pieces individually now because stacking is, if I can't see the corners, it's really hard to do.
You could put stickers on the little rulers so you can orientate them.
Stickers on the little rulers? There are little stickers to keep them from sliding. I don't know what you mean.
No,
Oh, which way it goes. Yeah, I could put it.
butterfly stickers.
It's fine.
Bottom and, yeah.
It'll be fine. I'll be fine. All right, we're going to take 3 off of this one for now because I think I said I needed 3 off of each. But now I don't remember because I forget that quick. Okay, put that in the used pile. Fix my arc because my ruler went awry. Not my ruler, but my rotary cutting. It's kind of sloppy. And I have a fresh blade in here too, and it's the nicks that are on my cutting mat itself. All right, there's 3 from that one. Move on. So some of these I have to go one direction. And some the other. But that's why I said today will be the cutting day where we cut everything. And if you have questions, just ask. I'll do my best to answer, even though this is my first time ever doing this. I probably should bring the rotating mat up here, but I'm not worried. All right, so 1. Line it up again. The arc is not the same. When you line it up to the next amount. It's different every time. All right, there's 2, and we'll cut 1 more. This is a very wasteful project, but you know, sometimes we just have to waste pretty fabric. So this is what we're going to do today. Is cut. We'll get to some sewing though eventually. see what I can get from this. Definitely will get. I like that I could go on both sides of my desk. See if I get a second one right here in this section. Oh, I can. Look at that. Yeah, and there's a template for her free pattern for Donna Jordan's, yes. And it makes a square one. Squared edges. It's pieced almost the same. It's got a little differences. I've seen the video, so, but it's pretty much the same. I'm just gonna grab 2 from this one because I want to get through some more fabrics. Since I'm doing one at a time.
Where did you get your cutter?
My rotary cutter is a Martelli cutter, and you can, Scott put a link in for it in the chat. Are you kidding me?
Why are you cutting some arches out of one print and the other scrappy?
They're all getting cut scrappy. This is just the pre-cut. And then I'm going to stack them all up and cut them all. I'm just trying to get them cut first. Are you kidding me? Time for a new mat. I got to reline this back up. Okay, let's try that again. No, I'm pre-cutting out all the G so that A and B are easier to cut. This one is really driving me nuts today. There we go. There's 3 of that one. Very slowly. This may take some time.
You ever made a jelly roll rug?
I have not made a jelly roll rug, nor am I really interested in making one. I might, though, in the future because I've been asked like 500 times. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's a very common question. But when I make one, you guys will know if I ever do. Like I said, it's not really my thing. It would just be something for Thumper to lay and lick himself on.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I would be able to sell it. It's too big to ship. It would be way heavy and awkward to fold.
Are all double wedding rings basically the same if they can't find your exact one?
Yes, all double wedding rings are basically the same if you cannot find this exact one. They have the basic similarities, and some can just use jelly roll strips and so on and so forth. There is even one I've seen online a long time ago that you piece the jelly roll strips and then you cut the arc out of the piecedness, so they're not like, yeah, it's weird. It's different. But yes, I've seen a bunch of different ways. I'm just going with this book and the traditional look. I already just did that. Let's do this one. She's just so pretty. I like flower fabric. Whether it's this or something else, I love flower fabrics. And purple, but that was my first idea, was purple batiks for this. But then I changed my mind and said, you know what, I'm going to just do traditional colors. Because why not? I gotta press all this still though, because these are so, can you, without disturbing these, can you just run the iron on top of them to get these wrinkles out?
Yeah.
This one isn't wrinkled, but the rest of them are. They're stretched, so just be careful.
Am I supposed to do one at a time?
Yeah, just press it softly on top.
What's with all this scrap over there?
I'm gonna make a crumb pile out of it.
Okay, well, you have the biggest ironing board known to man, but you have no space on it. Can I move it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, put it all in the bag. One more. I'll just bring the bag over here. Sorry, guys. I'm putting all my scraps in a bag so that I can make something with them later. A little crumb something with all these little pieces.
Don't get rid of scrap.
I don't like to throw fabric away because you guys know I don't like to waste it at all. It drives my head crazy. I am throwing away the skinny bits, but the little end pieces I'm not. Put these right there for now. There are 3 of that color. I guess I'll use whatever section. There is a regular wedding ring. Oh. But it's totally different. It looks funny because this is what you're used to when you think of wedding ring.
This doesn't make the pieces hot.
Right here.
Do these need iron too?
This one, no.
Okay. Do you
Those,
want 'em-
no.
These are upside down. Do you want them regular?
Just lay them there, it's fine. It's the same thing, right side up or upside down.
Well, I don't want you sewing them together upside down. That might not be good.
Oops, I don't know why I threw that piece in there, but I'll dig it out later. Oh, it's right there. I can see it. One more. Just watch your fingers when you use templates, because this is the best way to cut yourself. Templates. And if you want, you can use an, I think it's a, I don't even know, what is that one that I have? 30, no, 18 millimeter blade. Oh, they have AccuQuilt, I think, for this, but it's not for the,
AccuQuilt have a die?
yeah, they have a double wedding ring die on AccuQuilt. It's for the big machines, though. They don't have one for the Go Baby or Go Me. Yeah, I'm just going to lay them there.
You're laying them all out like you done this second. You're just cutting.
Yep, and then after I make this with all these fabrics, I will make something else with all these vintage leftovers. Because why not? Vintage style, seaming, whatever. You know what I mean. And there it happened again. I let that ruler get moved. Now you can see why I'm cutting one at a time. This is probably the part that takes the longest, is one at a time.
You gonna make pillow shams to match?
Make pillow shams to match. I don't know.
Or a chicken quilt with the leftovers?
I don't know what I'm making with the leftovers. Whatever it will be when I do it. Alright, cut the third one from this. I think I said I needed 3 per, but my paper is buried because the fan keeps blowing it away.
Do you want me to get it out?
No, it's fine. I'm just going to cut 3 of each, and if I have excess, then I will use it for something else.
Sounds like it's done raining already.
Yep, it does.
It poured for a whole 20 minutes. Maybe 30. 30 minutes. Huh?
Yeah. For a little bit. Let's go this way because that's not wide enough. Let's see if I can do 2.
Oh, hey, these are hearts.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. That's awesome.
Let's throw one of these in there as well.
Heart leaves.
Okay. I'm going to slide it over and look first, then cut. Make sure I get the whole thing. I think this is a lot of work, these quilts. It's probably why I never did it until now, is because the double wedding ring is needing a lot of work.
Is this cutter easier if you have shoulder trouble?
This cutter is easier if you have arm, shoulder, and anything trouble. This cutter is amazing. I could still use the other cutters, obviously, but this one is my go-to. I even have one in my fabric room.
Does this template set have you cutting off the corners?
There's no corner cuts on this template set. Again, this is an older template set, so they hadn't changed any designs with the little notches. But I've seen all those other template sets. Oops, my bag is right here. And then one more from this one. Once I have a nice giant stack, then I'll subcut all these. Stay open, bag. And if I need to cut more, I will cut more as I go. See, some of these weren't very big pieces, but I bought it all at the quilter's yard sale just recently, specifically for this, when I finally changed my mind and said I wanted traditional. But you can do it in like red, white, and blue, like my picture is on the book. Or you can do it in these colors. You can do it whatever colors you want. You can do it in wild, crazy, wonky scraps with a black background, which was what I originally wanted to do, was a black background. But I have blacks in this, so I didn't want to do a black background. Two. I don't know if I'm going to get a third out of this. Nope. I will from up here, though. This whole thing can go in the scrap bin. This whole thing can go in the scrap bin. So this is just like something you can do. Takes a lot of time. Take your time with it. Like I said, this is going to take me a while to do, probably. But you guys are going to watch it start to finish. I mean, I'll work on it off camera too, but not a lot, probably. I won't have time to. The majority of it will be on camera. So it's going to take a while. Was that the third one? Yeah. Right, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Gotta get some more of these rust colors in here. What's this? Oh, look at that. It's the width I need. Line the selvages up. Stack another one on there. This one's shorter. Something didn't cut. Where is it at? Well, that one cut nicely. One pass. No, I don't need anything right now. Thank you. Now, one more. It's like these fabrics were meant to be my double wedding ring because some of them are exactly the right size. Yes, it was yeah, I told him I'm originally wanted to do purple batiks, but I don't know why. What changed my mind? I just thought that this would be the best color palette for my first double wedding ring because if it comes out nice, I can enter it into a show. Yep. Yep. Let's cut some more. I'm trying to get at least most of these fabrics cut up because we want the best of the, as much, there's a word for it. Can't get the word. Colorways as possible. We don't want to keep putting the same couple colors together and then try to put a whole stack of the rest of the colors that end up towards the bottom. You know, we want it to be fully blended. See, some of these were fat quarters. Gets all the ends right there. Ooh, thunder. It's like the perfect day, too. A nice rainy day, stay inside, create a double wedding ring quilt, you know? It's perfect. It's actually what I wanted to do for my son and daughter-in-law when they got married, but I hadn't started it yet, and they don't really like these kind of colors anyway, so it would have had to been the purple and black, but I never got to it and did something else for them. Yeah, this was the original one I wanted to do for Damon and Gabby, was a double wedding ring.
They got something different.
They got something different. But I hadn't made one yet, so I was weary about making it, and it would have still taken me forever to do anyway. Which is what this is going to take, is forever to do. It's a time-consuming project.
Oh, you got it. Anyone can do it too. If they have any questions, they can ask away.
If you guys have any questions, you can ask. I really feel weird just cutting, but I told you guys I would show you the whole process, not just sewing them together. So you can see how much goes into these. So if you're a beginner and you're working your way towards learning new stuff, this is more of an advanced thing, but you'll at least have that general idea from start to finish instead of a video that just shows a few steps, you know? Oops, that did not. That's 3, that one. Oh, let's get this one. Find another skitty one to go on with this one. And another skinny one. Is there another?
Why are you cutting solid?
Why am I cutting solids? These are prints.
I think they mean that heat group. When you are cutting the heat group, I don't know.
I wasn't cutting that yet. I haven't touched it.
Okay.
Are you talking about why am I cutting a solid G piece? Because I have to, my book says to cut the solid G piece for better accuracy, then cut out the A and B from the G. It's not going to separate. Somewhere it clicked right there. Oh, I will get 3 from this. Gel bottom dollar, I will figure it out. Yes, beginners can learn just from watching.
But is all that need iron?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's the iron pile.
Okay, I will iron.
So there.
When was the double wedding ring pattern first made?
When was it first made? I don't know. It could have been in the 1700s or so. I don't know. It's really old. It's an old pattern.
Is there grips on the template? templates in there?
There are little grips on these templates, yes. Let's put this way. And then this one's big too, I think. No, it's not.
That's a good Google question.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Double wedding ring first made. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good question. I know it's old. Don't even know why it's called double wedding ring. I mean, was it only a gift for fancy marriages? I mean, I have no idea. I know nothing about it. I just know that it was a hard one and it was on my list of hard things to make. Fold on that one. Yeah, my ruler hand gets tired faster than my rotary cutting hand or arm. And my ruler hand is already tired from cutting this many pieces. And I still need to sit and stack them and then subcut them. It's 2 and 1 more. I'm at least trying to get 3 from every single color. If I don't get 3, then oh well, but we will do our best to get what we can. Yeah, some of these are just fat quarters. I know I should have just pressed them all and laid them flat instead of what I did by folding it all.
Well, yeah, I could have easily pressed all these fabrics for you today, honey. Well, they have one in a museum from 1825 to 1850.
A museum from 1825 to 1850 has a double wedding ring. That's not 12, that direction, nope. Trying to find all the ones that are like fat quarter size right now, or at least have 12 inches on the, yep. Yep, this is my first one. I bought a pre-made one and it's in the closet. It's just to quilt it before I quilt this, just to get the general idea of what I want to quilt on it. So I bought one pre-made, somebody made it and I bought it off of them, and it's hanging in the closet waiting for me to get this started on, and then I'll quilt it and figure out if that's what I want on the quilting or not. It's just, I want this one to be fancy, so I'm going for fancy double wedding ring. So I'm probably going to, what people call, quilt it to death. But I have a long arm and I like to fancy quilt. I love custom quilting on. How many different fat quarters do I think would be needed? It depends on the size quilt you're making. I'm making a queen size, so probably like if you have like 20 fat quarters, you're cutting a bunch of these from those fat quarters. So, I mean, it depends. Oh, one more. Make 3. It all depends on the size quilt that you'd be making. So I would have used 20 fat quarters though, for something like this. And then obviously you still need your accent fabric. You would probably have to cut 5 arcs from, or 5 or 6 arcs from each fat quarter. That's what I'm assuming. And that's not me doing any math. Did I cut 3 from that? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I did. I have a King Quilter Elite, King Quilter 2 Elite. All right, so all these are about this size. We're gonna cut from these.
I'm gonna put a link in for it.
Scott put a link in for it. It's a nice machine. I love it. It's only an 18-inch throat space, but I mean, do I really need much more? If I'd had much more, I wouldn't be able to custom quilt because I'd be reaching too far. When I was at Becca's house and I quilted while I was at her house in Virginia, she has a 20-inch, and it's set up for her height. So my height, it was almost perfect, but I could tell 20 inches, just 2 extra inches was a little bit further for my visual and working nicely field. So
Visual and working nicely.
yeah, like being able to visually see and get a good curve or arch or turn, you know. So it was a little different using a 20-inch machine. So I'm glad I bought the 18. I mean, I do get frustrated sometimes when I don't have enough throat space for fancy designs on big blocks, but as long as my quilts don't have blocks that are more than, 20 inches.
Some of these have a sharp tip and some of them are flat.
Oh, it's fine. It's just because the ruler wasn't perfect on my cut. And you know what? I'm going to make it work on imperfectness. Oh, this got fold. Stay down, fold. Yep, I'm the queen of making imperfect perfect. That's exactly, Scott said that.
Yep.
I have fudged so many quilts. I mean, I still have a 1/4-inch seam allowance. They've not fallen apart or anything. Sometimes you just have to fudge things and make it work. This is going to be one of those quilts for me. Because I can already tell just by making this half block right here, it was a fudgy type of job. It's not what you think. It's a little complicated. If it doesn't come out, don't worry. I did rip a few seams when I was making it the other day, so. But I definitely got the general idea by making, cutting out a couple pieces to make that section. All right, not very many fabrics in here. Not very many fabrics left, sorry. See how big some of these
Didn't you
are.
even say you had to pin?
Yeah, I have to pin. Like, I literally never pin anything ever. And this is a project that requires pinning. For me. For you. You're going to want to pin too. So that's part of the supplies you need. Pins. Lots of pins. I still have a cold, by the way, guys. If our weather would decide if it wants to be hot or cold, it wouldn't be happening and I wouldn't be getting sick. But because our weather wants to...
Yeah, the AC was on just before this started, now it's 70 out.
Yeah, it's very strange how the weather is around here. Hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. It just drives me nuts.
What's weird for me, it should be just insane heat.
Yeah, it should be just insane heat because it's May now, but it's not. I was outside earlier and before the storm fully hit because I like to watch the lightning, and yeah, it literally was like, felt like 68 degrees and 70 is my limit, and I was like freezing. And once I get the shivers, it's hard for me to stop having the shivers. It's part of my MS. No matter what causes the shivers, it's hard to stop them once they start. Drives me nuts, but
How do you manage standing?
I like to stand because sitting actually hurts still. I haven't had my MRI yet, for those who've been following with my tailbone issues. So standing is fine. It doesn't hurt me, and it doesn't hurt my hips either. And my hips are bad, so. But right now my lower back is horrible, and standing is actually much better than sitting. Plus I cut this kind of stuff better standing. Just like quilting. That's why I like the stand-up long arm as opposed to a sit-down at a machine. Because sit down at a machine after a while is going to kill not only your shoulders and your back, but it will hurt your whole entire body. Your arms are going to get tired, and you're just going to get so sore. It's annoying. For those that are new quilters, you know, just remember that you need to relax your body and be comfortable where you're sitting and stuff when you're free motion quilting. All right, let's see how many more fabrics we have here. So, yep, that's good. I'll sit for a little bit though when I get to the subcutting the arcs. It's definitely not that wide. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and go with all these now. Ooh, is that wide? Oh, it is. Just stack them up all funky. This way. See how many layers I can cut comfortably. Technically, that was a second scrap of that. I could go out of the way. And this is the width.
Are you going to reuse those fabrics to make the other arcs?
I will reuse these fabrics forever. This makes both arcs. The difference between one side of the arc, and the other is it's the same exact arc. One side you're adding only those corner pieces to. So here's both arcs. It's the same thing. So here's one arc. And then when you go on your opposite side, like this, that creates the full arc by having this. For me, it's a D piece. The D piece on the ends. And then that creates the full arc. Okay? So it's the same thing. You're just adding your D pieces. Let's line this up so I'm covering every single one of these. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Yep, and yep, okay. Everything is covered this way and that way. I think there's like 6 layers here now, or 7. Oh yeah, it's a lot, whatever it is. Whew. But I was able to go through it. the book actually says stack 6 layers, at least this book that I'm working from. One more. There's not many fabrics left to go, so that's a good thing.
Is there more for me to iron? I'm actually getting
Yep.
close.
It's right here next to me.
Wait, this one?
Mm-hmm. All right,
Getting
stack
close.
this away. Yeah, my hand is starting to really hurt. Not this one, but the other one. I'm holding the ruler.
Okay. Not the cutting hand, it's the ruler hand.
Yep, the ruler hand is the hand that gets sore. Especially when you're using templates. All right, let's see what we got going on here. How many big fabrics are left and how many little ones? That's a big one. That looks really big. All right, some I've cut out of already, but I didn't cut 3. I only cut 1. Let's see. Definitely not big enough. Definitely not big enough. Not big enough. That's big enough to get 1 out of. Not big enough. Where's my arc? Nope, not big enough. See, some of these aren't big enough pieces. I just threw all the scraps here so that way I could. All right, let's move this out of the way. Some of these I already started on. But like I said, I only cut enough for what I was practicing. So I say if you've never done this before, cut out enough pieces for 1 full complete circle, you know? And if you don't like it, and you don't like piecing it, then I would say don't finish and you didn't waste too much. You know what I mean? What did I cut? 1 more.
You just work on a little bit at a time.
Yep, or you can just do a little bit at a time, half an hour a day or something, instead of cutting all at once like I'm doing right now.
Well, if you do it all at once, it's going to get monotonous and you're going to give up. If you do it a little bit here and a little bit there.
Yep, a little bit here and a little bit there, so it doesn't get monotonous and you don't get tired of looking at it. I have to have him press all these because, see, I'm cutting at the fold. I pressed everything and threw it in a box thinking, oh, it'd be fine. But no. Oh, let me cut this one first. I'm only going to get, ooh, I might get 2 out of this. One facing one way and then one facing the other way. So there's my one way. And then one facing this way. Oh, look at that. Will it make it? Yep. Right there.
All these done here? This my done file?
Yes, this is the done pile. This is a 2003 print right here from Thimbleberries, RJR. Just in case you're curious at some of these fabrics. Some of the selvages have writing on them. Heck, you guys probably have some of these fabrics.
It's a lot of half little circles here.
Yeah. Come on. There we go.
What's a temperature quilt?
A temperature quilt is a quilt that people have been making that is your daily temperature or weekly, but technically it's daily. 365 days of the year. You could make it, where the deepest, darkest tone of red is for the deepest, darkest, hottest day, and your cold nights would be like a really, light purple or whatever. And there's a word for it, and I can't think of it. But yeah, you make a quilt. Look it up online. Google it. I say Google it for everything because technically that you can Google anything and get an answer. But it'll show you pictures under Google Images. You can also do, yeah, it goes by the weather, but you can also do it by a journey quilt where like a specific block is for your happy days. Like say you have depression or something, right? Just as an example. You could have, say, a specific star that's for the days that you actually feel amazing, you have lots of energy, and you're not depressed. And that can be in yellows and pretty whatever colors. And then you have, a day you were really depressed. So you would mark that on your quilt as being the deep, dark blacks and purples and so on and so forth, because that means, and say that's, a churn dash or something, whatever. You get the picture. I think I already cut from this color. No,
Did you start your fabric first or iron?
I put a smidgen of starch on all these fabrics. That's probably why they're holding this crease very well. That Scott has kindly ironed out of all of my arcs because I gave them a little bit of starch. Not a lot. I don't like a lot of starch. That's probably why they look like they look right now. Line this back up. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I didn't think, oh yay, creases. I didn't think to stop that by, non-creasing. No, I don't want to cut from that angle because then it'll be too biased. Nope, not big enough. All right, these are the ones I cut one piece out of, so I just need to cut two more. Did it again. Frustrates me when there's a cut or nick on the board, and then it doesn't cut through thoroughly, even with your fresh blade. And then you have to try to realign things. I mean, I'm making it work, obviously, but let's just say it's a small of a headache with this way it's, there we go, cut beyond so far that it doesn't get stuck. It's definitely good exercise for the day. Whew. No. Oh, no, I just have a little bit more to cut. I already cut this guy. Just a little bit more. I need 2 more from this one. I still got to subcut all of this, but we will get to that. I feel like I've gotten silent and all you guys are doing is watching what I would do off camera. If you guys have questions, though, ask them. Give me something to talk about while I chop all this up. I can't answer too many double wedding ring questions because I don't know much about much when it comes to this. Reline this back up. If you guys didn't notice from the beginning, Thumper got his hair cut. Yeah. He's behind the camera right now getting some loving from Daddy. But his hair is nice and cut. I didn't go as short this time as I usually do because I was hoping it would stop him from licking himself, but it didn't do anything. He's licking up a storm. Like I have, cats lick, I know, but he is an obsessive compulsive licker, as in you stop him from licking and he'll go back to it. You can pet him and mess with him and he'll still be licking. Like he'll stop for the second he's standing up and then bam, he starts doing it again, like compulsively. And you can hear, and when it's compulsive, it's he'll be laying on the bed, licking his paw or licking his behind or something. And he'll be not licking his paw behind because he's actually licking the covers of the sheets and pulling at it and chewing at it. Like and that's what he does to his skin too. But I don't know. So I didn't go as short thinking it would help, but no, it's not helping. He's definitely gone Sir Licks-a-Lot crazy. And he gives himself his own rashes because of it. And when he has hair, he licks it out so much that he causes rashes and bald spots. I always called it kitty cat anxiety. I'm pretty sure that's what he has. So funny. No, he's been to the vet. He just licks. If they ask. Oh, if you guys want, yeah, the cruise is, it's linked in the description below if you guys want to look it up. The prices and all that kind of stuff are in there. The quilting package is separated because if you bring a spouse with you or somebody who's not joining the quilting part of things, but if you're joining the quilting part of things, there's a separate fee for that. It's not much, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know anything about all that kind of stuff. I just know that you have to use the link that I give you. They have a question section on that. So if you do have questions about anything, you can ask them. Those people are pros. They know what they're doing. Ray and John are their names from RGE. They've been doing this for Karen Brown and all sorts of people. So big names and so on and so forth. So they know what they're doing with this cruise. So just ask them and book with them. And it'll be in the description below every single video between now and like 90 days prior to our departure. Because then you can't obviously buy a ticket because it'll be booked. But spots are filling up quick. So if you really want to go on a cruise with Becca, Ian, and I, and see Scott, because he will be there, then I would book now because spots fill up quick for this kind of stuff. And Jim put a link in for the video that talks about it. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I made a special video. I don't know if you guys noticed because everybody's so excited about the cruise, just like me. But I actually went beyond my editing capabilities and learned how to do something new, which I want to be able to use in other videos. But unfortunately, I can't do it in videos like today because, well, it's live. But in pre-filmed videos, it's me trying new things, editing-wise. So I definitely edited that video pretty good. I had fun. Took a minute to learn how and what I was doing, but once I got the hang of it, 11 minutes is all I could handle, though, of it. I wouldn't have been able to edit something like that for a long video, because that's really hard to do. Oops, I don't know why I just did that. 1, 2, is it 2? Okay. There's a third one there.
We have no clue who's going to watch Thumper yet.
Yeah, we have no clue who's going to watch Thumper, but somebody in the family will be watching him.
No, it will be a neighbor.
A neighbor, the family, somebody. All right. Whoa, throwing things. I can get this direction. Yay. Spin the whole thing around. Moved it. Go figure. Stop doing that. Nope, nope, nope. Just realign and recut. My hand's getting tired, so now I'm fatiguely moving the ruler. How many of you had this on your bucket list and you're finally doing it because I'm making it to make this double wedding ring? Curious to know. I know it's how many? Yeah, this is definitely a bucket list quilt. I'm so glad that you guys are doing this with me. And you'd better be sharing into the Facebook group or onto Instagram and sharing, because I want to see what you guys are making too. So you can share on Instagram and tag Tiffany's Quilting Life so that I can see. You just put hashtag Tiffany's Quilting Life on Instagram, and I'll be able to see it for those that don't use Facebook but do use Instagram. Even though it's the same company.
You started with the fabric upside down. Does that make a difference?
Nope, it's the same cut upside down or right side up. I don't know. Did I need I didn't cut 3 from this. No, I already did. Yeah, because there was 1 cut already out. I haven't cut this one yet. I'm pretty sure I haven't cut that one. This one and this one have been cut out of. This one has not been cut out of. Not been cut out of. Ooh, let's see if I can throw that one in there for 2 cuts.
Will this be your first cruise?
This will be my first cruise. I've never been on a cruise before, but Scott has when he was a kid. But not really, because he was a kid. But I have never been on a cruise. I have been in the open ocean before, but I've never been on a cruise. I've been on yachts. Not humongous yachts like you see in the movies, but yachts and fishing boats. Because my dad had friends that were fishers and yachters and so on and so forth when I was a kid. But never a cruise ship.
Which double wedding ring roller are you using?
I am using the Omnigrid double wedding ring. I don't know what they make nowadays. Like I said, there's tons of different things you can find online. Are you kidding me?
Will each of you have a project, or will it be one group?
Nope, it's a group project, and that will be worked out. I can't tell you what it is, but I know it will be a project. I know what it's going to be. I just know it's a project only exclusively for the cruise. That's all I could tell you when it comes to the project we're doing on the cruise. But just know it's going to be amazing no matter what we do. Because Becca's mind, Ian's mind, and mine are all connecting for one group pattern. It makes it easier if we all teach the same thing. Plus, we're all goofballs together, so it's best for us to be all in the same room together as opposed to doing it each alone. It's only a 7-day cruise, so there's only so much time, you know? I need 1 more of these. Wow, this one's going to be super wrinkly. Okay. It's going to be a fun cruise. Scott and I will be able to have some time together that we've never had away from home because we never took a honeymoon. So that part will be cool. Get to explore whatever activities, I guess, are there. I have no idea. I know that there's shows and all sorts of stuff, but we'll probably mainly be at food places because Scott likes to eat. But we'll get to, on the cruise, the people that are joining, we eat together. at supper time. So that'll be fun. You'll get plenty of time with us, not just in the sewing room, but at dinner.
Will you need to bring anything like notion?
Okay, you will have to bring whatever you take to a retreat, except for a sewing machine. I know that. The rest of all that we'll have 90 days prior to the cruise. You'll know once we have the project and everything all situated. You'll know 90 days prior to the cruise what fabrics you're going to need to buy and what notions. But sewing machines will be on the cruise. And irons and ironing boards. So you don't need to bring an iron or an ironing board or anything like that. Those things the cruise ships prefer for the irons to be something that they supply. I already used this color. Yep, okay. 2 more of this one and 2 more of that one, and then those will all get 1. Look at that. I'm almost done, my friends, cutting at least this part out. Whew. That's a lot of work. But this will hopefully be the whole double wedding ring worth of cuts here. More from this. I just know it's a once in a lifetime thing because I'll probably never go to Alaska any other way besides a cruise ship. So it's a once in a lifetime thing. Plus, I probably will never end up going to Canada. So this will be my first time going to Canada because I've never been to Canada before either. Yeah, we wouldn't. I understand the price because if I wasn't a teacher, we wouldn't have been able to afford it either. But you have over a year to save for this if you must go. Yeah, you have plenty of time. Plus, you can make payments on it too, which is one of the options with the RGE. So making payments might make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, you got a year and a half.
Yeah, you have a year and a half pretty much. It's a lot of time. That's the only way we would have been able to go is making payments. But cruises are expensive on their own anyway, if you've never been on a cruise. We've been looking at them for years, so, because we always kept saying we were going to go on one. Now the opportunity is here. We already knew that they were expensive. We always get the things from Princess and Celebrity and Viking Cruise Lines. We get little pamphlets in the mail all the time because we look online about them and look into them all the time. All right, 3 more fabrics to cut. So 2 from this and 3 from each of those 3. And then I'll have cut all this, and all I'll need left to do is cut the arcs into their pieces, which that'll have been today's whole video. But at least you guys have the general idea that this does take some time. Even though I'm Miss Speedy everything, this is actually taking me some time to do. This is definitely not a quilt that I could whip out in one episode of being online. But if I could, I would have done this a lot sooner. Stack these on top of each other. just need an end of it.
That's what they're going to tune in next week.
Hopefully you guys still tune in next week, because by next week we'll get to the sewing.
Well, even if they're not making it.
Even if you're not making it, I'm hoping you learn something. Yeah. Okay, good. Whew.
How many different color fabrics are you using? Do we even
I
know?
have 82 different fabrics here, but some of them are getting knocked out because they're small. So probably about 75 different fabrics in total. It's going to be super scrappy. Which I love, so you guys all know that I'm a super scrappy girl.
Do we remember what kind of sewing machines we're going to have on the boat?
I do not know what kind of sewing machines they're going to have on the boat. I do remember them saying something about they have a thing with baby lock or something like that.
We asked them,
We asked them, but I don't really remember. I do remember something about they had a thing with baby lock, so they can get baby lock machines. It's probably not going to be Juki's, but you know, that's okay. And I do know that those that are going get swag bags and things like that. I don't know what other stuff, because, you know, I've never been on a retreat before, and this is my first time prepping all this stuff with Becca and Ian.
Becca has all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
She's got swag bags going. She's got a pop-up shop going.
Yeah, I don't know what all.
So if you need to buy any little scissors or cutters or something like that, there's going to be a pop-up shop there.
We think that's not set in stone.
Well, yeah, it's a year away.
Nothing's set in stone on that part.
We don't even have passports yet.
Yeah, we don't even have our passports yet. We got to get it. We don't even have the star license yet either. We need that too.
The stupid star card you have to get to go on an airplane.
Yeah, we have to get that airplane star card, because we haven't done that yet either. I will, though. We have to do it by the end of this year, because you're supposed to have it all the way by the end of 2025. So, all right, all those are now cut. Now we need to subcut them. I'll just throw that over there. Grab this nice big huge stack that Scott has over here. All right, so this is my nice big stack.
You only got about 15 minutes, so I don't know if you want to start sewing.
I'm going to start cutting these and then putting in my A pile and my B piles together with my directions right here.
Okay.
So these go together, and then the B's go on the end. And I'm going to move all this out of the way for now. Whew. This is a lot. So now I'm going to stack them up, because now they're flat. And I'm just going to line them exactly how they were cut. So that way they get stacked exactly how they were cut. And they should line all up, because it's exactly the same, every single piece. So I have 4 here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my B piece off the end. Right here. Line it completely up. Put that in the B pile. That's facing that direction, and then the other one will go in the other direction. Now I'm just going to line up all my A's, cut them. And I'm glad I can sit now for a few minutes, because my hand is killing me. The smaller the little piece of ruler, the harder it is on my hand too. So just know that if you're using templates, this is a little, like I said, you need to take some time and work through it slowly if you have to. I couldn't imagine scissor cutting all of this though, because that would just be too much. All right, that's the size it needs to be, and here's my A's. All right, stack another stack up. blend these. That's what I'm going to do when I throw them up here is blend them out a little bit. I'm trying for the wide variety. Let's just make more than one stack. That'll work. More than one stack. And I could have left them all stacked together, but they all had a... You definitely need to make sure all of your fabrics are super flat, which mine were not. Even though I originally started ironing them all super flat. It was my fault for folding them into a box. So I'd say lay it all out on a table, especially if you're doing scraps. You need your pieces to be flat. Oh, you guys want to see the beast?
Here he is.
Say hi. Say hi to everybody. You like my hair, huh? He was licking my hair earlier when I was laying on the floor with him, playing with his little fishy that he has. I had my hair down, and yeah, he was licking it like crazy. It's because I freshly washed it, and he must really like the smell of it or something. I don't know. But now it's dirty from him licking. Just making piles for now. And I'm just going to lay this on here at the very end where it goes. Make the cut. That goes on that side.
Some weird designs. What the heck is that? That's just a weird design.
It's just a weird design, and it's funky, and that's what's going to go great with this.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because the fabrics are not all super whatever, but they are small prints, which is what makes it work. Pile. Okay. Stack a few more. So this is probably the part you're supposed to subcut it. It says in the book, for me at least, says to subcut when you have them all stacked up and you cut your layers. But I'm assuming that's if you're cutting from in my case, 12.5-inch squares. Because that's what the pattern says on this one, is to cut from 12.5-inch squares. All right.
What kind of cat is
Thumper is a knitted ragdoll mixed with snowshoe. Pretty sure he's a mix, but we're not 100% sure. That's just a guess. He always looked like a snowshoe until he got a little bit older and his hair got a lot longer. And then we learned from someone else that knitted ragdolls, so I looked it up and they look exactly like Thumper. So I'm like, well, he's a toss though, because his face still looks snowshoey. And he doesn't have as long of a hair as knitted ragdoll on the face.
Does he hold still to be clipped?
He holds still to be clipped, yes. Sometimes he'll just lay there and lick me. Sometimes he'll nip at me, like if I'm shaving down his downstairs area. But that's only when I'm shaving those areas, then he'll nip at me. But most of the time he just stays there and he, what is the word? Not meows, purrs for me. Yeah, he's very good about his haircuts. But if Scott comes in the room or somebody comes in the room that he's not used to in the room during the shaving process, he'll pee. And that's not a good thing when a cat's being shaved because that's filthy. But that's what'll happen. So it's just got to be me. I also learned that he cannot be bathed in the bathtub anymore. He has to be bathed in the kitchen sink. So when we replace our kitchen sink, hopefully soon, we're going to do an open tub, the farmhouse sink kind of sink, because yeah, there's definitely there's no room right now bathing him on that one side of the sink. It's so small. He is a big cat. So eventually we'll get that done. And yeah, it'll probably be a lot easier to bathe him, but I do not dare bathe him in the shower anymore. He bit me up like crazy.
Do you think the curved template could be used on a layer cake?
The curved template can be used on a layer cake. No, it cannot. Because this is 12. But if you want to cut these individually, you would cut 2.5-inch strips. And then you can stack your layer cake pieces up, subcut them into 2.5-inch squares, and then cut the pieces out, the little templates. Which is what I could do with those smaller cuts of fabric. If I need to blend more fabrics in here, I can just take from those smaller cuts with just the individual pieces, which I'm going to have to do anyway for my bee pile because I did lose a piece for the bee pile.
Let's see what you're actually cutting here. They can't see from back there.
Oh, yeah, my stack's probably in the way too. So I'm actually subcutting the arcs. So I'm stacking them on top of each other. They're lining up perfectly. Making stacks. Because they were all cut the same. But I had to have Scott press them because they really had a kink in them all.
These ones not done yet?
Unless you just, no, I don't, there's still a bump there too. Unless it's just laying like that, but
Maybe just this one?
could be just that one. So I'm literally taking my B piece, putting it on the end, lining it up, making the cut, move that out of the way, and cut the A pieces. Yeah, the iron is crappy without steam, for sure. That's why I like steam irons. That's why nothing is laying flat, because there is no steam in that iron. And then that matches exact. So I put them in the B's, and I'm trying to mix all the A stacks up. Here's a good stack. Let's put 1 or 2 more on here. More. Starting another stack while we're right here. Trying to mix them up as well, because when I start grabbing these to sew them, I want a good variety when I grab. In the book, it actually says just toss them in a bin. Toss all the A's in one bin and all your B's in another bin.
Way to get her done.
Yep. So I'm just lining these little things up. I do need to take a drink of water, though. And if you cut it just right from your original template, everything should line up. And again, it does. No hangover. It's perfect.
Do you have a video on the drunkard's path?
A video on the drunkard's path. Yes and no. I made my own, remember my own template for it, and then I got the new templates that were made for me, the Tiffany Quilting Life ones, and well, I have not used those for a pattern yet, but maybe that could be soon after this, or maybe I'll just do a regular traditional video. But I have mine for charm squares, which I don't know if they're available online for a charm square drunkard's path, because one was made specifically for me from my own template, and then someone made me the acrylic thing from my own paper cutout. Woo!
Where did you get your templates?
I bought these from an estate sale. A lady had passed away, and her husband was getting rid of everything on the cheap, and I bought the template set. And then I got the other template set I have from another estate sale. And I don't know where, it's somewhere up on that shelf, but it's a different brand. So it may or may not be the same as this one, but I'm just going with this one because, as you saw on the wall, this is the perfect size block for me to do. All right, if you guys have any questions, I am soon done with today's part of cutting all this out. And then when we go to sew, I'm going to sew all the arc pieces first. And then we will cut out all the pieces for the ends, which would be the D piece that'll go on the end. So right now we're just cutting all the pieces for this arch part and this arch part without the D pieces on the end. Then when we get all these sewn up, we'll sew our D pieces on the end of half the amount of strips, because half goes on one side and then the other side gets the piece like this, as you can see. So I'll leave that like literally right here so you can see, and then this goes in the center like that. So right now I'm just gonna do the scrap parts of the arcs. We're gonna start simple by doing all this first, and then we'll cut out for the next part once all these are done. That way there's a little bit of everything mixed in. And I will start sewing some of these off camera, but I'll save there's gonna be a good amount that's gonna be on camera, but this, like I said, this would take me months if I only did 2 hours every Sunday. This would take way too long and you guys would get too bored of me. I'm already too bored of myself. I didn't even get to sew yet. But my time is pretty much up in a few minutes. So I'm just going to get this cut and then we'll get ready to say goodbye for today, because I can't go longer than 2 hours. But if you're sewing along with, you can start sewing your arc pieces after you've cut everything out.
Have you ever done a jinx block?
A what block?
Jinx.
Jinx? JNX? No, I have no idea what that is. I would have to Google it myself to find out, because I have no idea what it is. Yeah, I've never done it. If I never heard of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like jinx, haha. Because you said the same word at the same time. Okay, and then I'll cut this real quick because it's literally right here.
Curves.
It's a curve block? No, the only other curve things I've done is a Mariner's Star Compass and of the Drunkard's Path pieces, and then I've done the Cleopatra's Fan, which I think is just as hard as this, honestly. And the templates are small, just like this.
Cleopatra's fan was amazing.
Yeah,
though.
my
That was
Cleopatra's fan
beautiful.
came out amazing. I even entered it into a show. It didn't win anything, but I entered it, you know, so it could be seen. Because I don't ever see Cleopatra fans at any show that I've been to so far. So I'm kind of glad I made one and put it in a show. All right. So that's what I'm doing today. So I will finish cutting all this off camera. I got to restack everything and then get them subcut so that we can make these units. So next week I'll show you how to sew these units together. So it's just the 6 pieces. They are all pressed in the same direction according to my pattern. But if you're using like the Donna Jordan one, she has all those facing the center and then the center one goes whichever way. But they all go in towards the center, and those ones have little snips you snip out, because I remember seeing the video. So whatever your directions in your book is that you are following, so if you even have a book that has little templates that you don't have the actual ones for, and you got to cut out little acrylic piece, not acrylic, but like pieces of paper or something, just know you need to follow that. Follow the instructions because it's best suited to follow them. I have to remember to cut one extra piece that's that size, and then we will make these arches, okay? And then we will cut out these pieces once we have all the arches made, but we'll start sewing those next week. Okay? So just follow your directions. I'm just here to guide you along the way of, you know, things that we're doing. Can you tip the camera back up for a regular? All right. And then obviously this is my little sample. So I'm going to have a traditional, very traditional browns, blues, reds, greens, and rust colored look. Oh, because you can't see the white on it.
Yeah.
So that's what mine will look like. I think it is amazing, and I'm actually happy that I made this choice over using purple and black. So, all right. That is done. So thank you guys all for hanging out, and next week we will get some sewing done and then continue on with our double wedding ring. So I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.